Section 11. Interfering with another licensee's client. Ways to lose your real estate license. Interfering with another licensee's client. Ways to lose your real estate license. The following Tuesday morning, Michael walked into the weekly sales meeting carrying another investigation file. By now, Ashley knew exactly what that meant. Someone filed another complaint, she asked. Michael smiled. No, this one never should have become a complaint. The room became quiet. David leaned back in his chair. I remember this case. It started with someone trying to help. Ashley laughed. That doesn't sound very dangerous. Michael nodded. Sometimes the most expensive disciplinary cases begin with good intentions. He opened the file and placed a purchase contract on the conference room table. This transaction involved two buyers who were already under contract with another brokerage. A week before closing, they became frustrated with the inspection process and started asking friends if they should cancel the contract. Ashley looked at the paperwork. So where does the problem begin? Michael smiled. They called another real estate agent. Ashley frowned. Why? They trusted him. He was a family friend. They knew he had years of experience. They simply wanted another opinion. Ashley shrugged. That seems reasonable. It does, Michael replied, but this is where Arizona law requires every licensee to be extremely careful. He explained that ARS Section 32-2153 authorizes disciplinary action when a licensee induces a party to break an existing contract for the purpose of substituting another contract for the personal gain of the licensee. The rule exists to protect consumers, preserve contractual relationships, and prevent licensees from interfering with transactions simply to earn a commission. David leaned forward. Notice something important. The statute doesn't prohibit educating consumers. It prohibits interfering for personal gain. Ashley thought for a moment. So if someone asks my opinion, I have to be careful. Very careful. He explained that there is a significant difference between explaining general real estate concepts and advising someone to terminate an existing agreement. Consumers have every right to seek legal advice or consult the professionals already representing them. However, when another licensee attempts to persuade someone to cancel an existing contract so they can become involved in the transaction, serious legal and ethical concerns arise. Michael continued the story. The buyers met the agent for coffee. They explained everything that had happened. They asked whether they could cancel. Ashley looked at Michael. What did he tell them? Michael slowly closed the file. He told them, if I were you, I'd cancel this contract. The room became silent. David shook his head. And that's where everything changed. Michael explained that the buyers relied on the advice they received. They canceled the purchase contract, believing they would automatically recover their earnest money and simply purchase another home using the second agent. Unfortunately, that isn't what happened. The seller disputed the cancellation. The earnest money became the subject of litigation. The buyers lost the dispute. Then they filed complaints against nearly everyone involved. Ashley looked surprised. Even the agent who wasn't part of the transaction? Michael nodded, especially that agent. He had inserted himself into someone else's transaction. Although he had never represented either party, his advice became part of the lawsuit. During the investigation, ADRE examined whether his actions had improperly interfered with another brokerage's transaction and whether his recommendations were motivated by the opportunity to earn a commission on a replacement transaction. What began as a casual conversation between friends became an expensive lesson about professional boundaries. Ashley looked thoughtful. So, friends and family can create some of the biggest risks. They certainly can, Michael replied. Friends often assume that because you're a realtor or licensed real estate professional, you can answer every question involving contracts. David smiled. I have a standard response. Ashley laughed. What is it? I tell them, I'm happy to explain general real estate concepts, but because I'm not representing you in this transaction, I can't interpret your contract or tell you what legal rights you may have. Michael nodded. That's exactly the right approach. He explained that Arizona real estate professionals should avoid interpreting legal rights or advising parties involved in transactions where they are not the agent of record. Questions involving contract interpretation, legal remedies, cancellation rights, or potential litigation should be referred to the client's own real estate professional or legal counsel. Even well-intended advice can be misunderstood, relied upon, and later become evidence during litigation. Ashley smiled. I never realized helping someone could become a liability. Michael laughed. I've learned something over the years. The more experienced you become, the more careful your advice becomes. He continued reviewing the statute. This law also applies when one agent knowingly encourages a seller to cancel an existing listing agreement simply to sign a new listing with another brokerage. David nodded. Or when someone convinces a buyer to terminate an exclusive buyer-broker agreement so they can represent them instead. Michael smiled. Competition is healthy. Interference isn't. Ashley wrote another note in her notebook. Compete honestly. Michael noticed her writing. I like that. Arizona encourages competition, but it also expects professionals to respect existing contractual relationships. He looked around the room. If someone already has representation, respect it. If someone wants legal advice, recommend they speak with their attorney. If someone wants to terminate an existing agreement, advise them to discuss it with the broker or licensee currently representing them. David stood up. You know what separates experienced professionals from everyone else? Ashley smiled. What? They know when not to answer. Michael laughed. And that may be one of the most valuable lessons in this entire course. He closed the investigation file. The easiest disciplinary case to avoid is the one you never involve yourself in. Real-world Arizona example. An Arizona licensee was contacted by longtime friends who were unhappy with a purchase contract being handled by another brokerage. Hoping to help, the licensee reviewed portions of the contract and suggested the buyers could cancel and recover their earnest money. Acting on that advice, the buyers canceled the transaction but later lost the earnest money dispute. During the resulting litigation, the licensee who provided the advice was identified as a witness and later became the subject of an ADRE complaint. Although the licensee was never formally representing either party, the investigation focused on whether the advice improperly interfered with another brokerage's transaction and whether it violated ARS Section 32-2153. The situation became an expensive reminder that good intentions do not eliminate professional responsibility. Broker tip. When someone asks for advice about a transaction in which you are not the licensee of record, slow the conversation down before answering. General education is appropriate, but avoid interpreting contracts, recommending cancellation, or advising someone to terminate an existing agreement. When legal rights or contractual obligations are involved, direct the individual back to their own real estate professional or qualified legal counsel. Online discussion question 1. Why does Arizona prohibit licensees from inducing someone to cancel an existing contract for personal gain? Model answer. The law protects consumers and preserves the integrity of contractual relationships. Encouraging someone to terminate an agreement for the purpose of earning a commission creates conflicts of interest and undermines public confidence in the real estate profession. Question 2. How should a licensee respond when friends or family ask for advice about a transaction being handled by another brokerage? Model answer. The licensee may explain general real estate concepts, but should avoid interpreting contracts or advising someone to cancel an agreement. Questions involving legal rights or contractual obligations should be directed to the client's own licensee or attorney. Question 3. Michael says experienced agents know when not to answer a question. Why is that an important risk management strategy? Model answer. Not every question should be answered by a real estate licensee. Recognizing when to refer someone to the appropriate professional helps protect consumers, reduces liability, and prevents unnecessary disciplinary complaints.